Mobile Station Libra. Mission: establish a new village in the northern biomes. Crew: 7 future settlers and 1 android. The humans are in cryosleep. The android is in standby mode.
I hope we finally arrived.
The android quietly said as he opened his eyes and rose from the captain's chair. He looked around the bridge. Everything seemed normal.
Mother, report the station's location.
The onboard computer did not respond.
Mother.
There was still no answer. The android frowned.
That has never happened before.
He manually activated the computer display. An access window appeared on the screen. Name: AI. Digital ID: 02101985. Access granted. AI initiated a system reboot. A few seconds later, the familiar voice interface signal sounded.
Mother?
I am glad to see you, AI.
Why weren't you responding? I had to reboot the system manually.
Power failure detected.
Power failure? Have we reached the deployment site?
Current location coordinates are being determined.
AI slowly turned and headed toward the station's main corridor. Suddenly, glass crunched beneath his feet. He stopped. Shards were scattered across the floor. Several light fixtures had been smashed. Some wall panels had been torn from their mounts.
What happened here?
AI quickened his pace and headed for the personnel compartment. The door was damaged, but could still be opened manually. When it slid aside, AI froze. His gaze locked in place. Rows of cryopods glowed with flashing red emergency lights.
Oxygen.
He rushed to the control panel.
Mother, what is happening here?
Power failure detected.
How is that even possible? Why weren't the backup generators activated?
Files corrupted. Access to flight log archives unavailable.
Probable cause: accident. Station movement was halted.
Open the cryopods immediately.
Command cannot be executed.
What do you mean, cannot be executed?
No connection to the central control system.
This makes no sense. We need to open the pods immediately.
The station was halted 28 days ago.
AI froze.
What did you say?
The station was halted 28 days ago.
He slowly looked at the faces behind the cryopod glass.
They.
He closed his eyes and lowered his head. Silence filled the room for several seconds. Then, AI took a deep breath.
Mother, record an entry in the flight log. Current time and date. Message text. The mission to establish a new village in the northern biomes cannot be completed. Reason: termination of life functions of the settlers inside the cryopods due to power failure and the absence of backup generator activation. Station Libra remained inactive for 28 days. Android AI was awakened from standby mode on the 28th day after the station stopped. The cause of the emergency system's failure to activate has not been determined. The station's location remains unknown. The technical condition of the station is currently being assessed. The onboard computer shows signs of data corruption. Only 1 operational android remains aboard, AI. Following the technical assessment, the station's course will be redirected to the main base in accordance with protocol. Message composed by AI. Code 02101985. Recorded?
Yes. Message saved.
Try sending it to Central Command. Provide a report after delivery.
Message delivered.
AI left the personnel compartment. He inspected the station's cargo sections. Disorder was everywhere. It looked as though the station had been violently shaken before coming to a stop.
28 days. Why wasn't the emergency protocol activated? Why wasn't I awakened? Why didn't the backup generators start? Mother, is the technical report ready?
Yes. Data collection complete.
The station is technically capable of movement. Autopilot is functional. Navigation map corrupted. Archived coordinates may be used for route calculation. Onboard computer functionality is at 72%. Multiple damages detected that do not affect the station's return to base.
Good. Set the station in motion. Lower the window sunshields. We're heading home. How long will the trip take?
72 hours.
We didn't get very far.
AI said quietly.
Mother, one more question. Were there any messages from Central Command before the station stopped? I want all messages, including personal ones.
One message found.
What message? Who sent it?
Personal message. Sender 589-10120.
Mike? What could that old man possibly want from me?
AI said in surprise.
Message content corrupted. Unable to open.
AI leaned back in his chair wearily.
What is going on here?
For all 72 hours, thoughts swirled through AI's mind. Why had the station shut down? Why had the emergency system failed? Why hadn't the backup generators started? Why hadn't the system awakened him? Why had the settlers died? Why had the mission failed?
They'll figure it out at the base.
He muttered.
They've probably already read my report. I can imagine the chaos there right now. No surprise. So many settlers died. So much time was lost. Scientists, engineers, they've probably already gathered in a laboratory complex, looking for someone to blame. Of course, the android will be blamed. It's always that way. If everything works, the credit goes to the scientists and engineers. If something goes wrong, it's the android's fault. But what was in that old man's message? Why did it arrive just before the accident? He never writes to me while I'm traveling, though there's no point guessing now. Soon I'll ask him myself.
The arrival signal sounded. AI raised the sunshields. Daylight flooded the bridge. The base could be seen in the distance.
Well then, here we go. Mother, send an arrival signal. I think they're already waiting for us.
The station approached the city. An enormous temple-like megacity towered above the jungle. Stone pyramids stretched high into the sky. This was the city where all androids were created. Their home, their base. But when Libra entered the city, AI felt something strange. The streets were empty. Completely empty. Everything seemed frozen in time.
What the? Mother, set course for the laboratory complex.
The station came to a halt. The doors opened. AI stepped outside. Absolute silence filled the streets. So deep that it felt as though he could hear the silence itself. There was no wind, no birds, no bees, no people. The city looked as if it had been abandoned in an instant. AI ran toward the laboratory complex. The automatic doors were not working. He smashed the glass and entered. Darkness filled the laboratory. There was no power. AI knew the laboratory well. This was where he had been created, where he had studied, where he had spoken with scientists every day.
I need to start the backup generator. I hope it still works.
He picked up a flashlight from the security station. AI descended into the basement. The startup control panel was still in place.
All right. First, the main switch. Done. Now, the key.
AI smashed the protective glass of the emergency compartment and took the key.
Come on, little guy.
First attempt. The generator shuddered and fell silent. Second attempt. The generator roared to life. Electricity surged through the laboratory. AI burst into the central server room.
Mother. Connection. Name. AI. Digital ID 02101985.
Access confirmed.
Provide a report covering the last 750 hours. Required information. Communications with Station Libra. Cause of communication loss. All emergency incidents within the city. All emergency incidents within the laboratory complex. Current whereabouts of residents, scientists, and engineers. Cause of the power failure. Provide the report immediately upon completion of data collection.
AI stared at the screen.
I already know something happened here, and it was something terrible. But what exactly? I need the details.